Hello everyone, we're on chapter 9 and we're on paragraph 36, so let's get started. But how is a social life possible for man if each one is only striving to assert his own individuality? This objection is characteristic of a false understanding of moralism. Such a moralist believes that a social community is possible if all men are united by a communally fixed moral order. What this kind of moralist does not understand is just the unity of the world of ideas. He does not see that the world of ideas working in me is no other than the one working in my fellow man. Admittedly, this unity is but an outcome of practical experience, but in fact it cannot be anything else, for if it could be known in any other way than by observation, then in its own sphere, universal standards rather than individual experience would be the rule. Individuality is possible only if every individual being knows of others through individual observation alone. I differ from my fellow man not at all because we are living in two entirely different spiritual worlds, but because from the world of ideas common to us both, we receive indifferent intuitions. He wants to live out his intuitions, I mine. If we both really conceive out of the idea and do not obey any external impulses, physical or spiritual, then we cannot but meet one another in like striving in common intent. A moral misunderstanding, a clash, is impossible between men who are morally free. Only the morally unfree who follow their natural instincts or the accepted commands of duty come into conflict with their neighbors if these do not obey the same instincts and the same commands as themselves. To live in love towards our actions and to let live in the understanding of the other person's will is the fundamental maxim of free men. They know no other obligation than what their will puts itself in unison. They know no other obligation than what their will puts itself in unison with intuitively. How they will direct their will in a particular case, their faculty for ideas will decide. And 36 is summarized as follows. A question arises is how can a social life be possible if everyone is only striving to assert their own individuality? What this question assumes is that everyone is united by a communally fixed moral order. The real thing that unites people is the world of ideas. This world of ideas that works in me works in others as well. So the main point here is Steiner is bringing up the objection that people are saying, well, what's going to happen now if people are asserting their individuality? There's going to be chaos. How are people going to work together? How are people going to be social? It's just not going to work because now we're all striving to be individuals. And what Steiner is pointing out is that these moralists believe that their assumption is that a social community is only possible if all men are united by a communally fixed moral order. So that basically means they believe that everyone has agreed to follow a certain moral code, and they think that's what they believe. But these moralists, as Steiner points out, they do not understand that it is the world of ideas that is what unites free people. So I have my own. So what he's pointing out is that the world of ideas that works in me is the same world of ideas that works in you. And what he says as well is that we are living in, because from the world of ideas common to both of us, we receive different intuitions. So we are living in the same spiritual world. We have access to the same world of ideas, but we're receiving different intuitions. But he continues on and says, to live in love towards our actions and to let live in the understanding of the other person's will is the fundamental maxim of free men. So he believes that a free man will respect the ideas of another free person because we're both living in the same spiritual world, but we're receiving different intuitions. So we're letting people live as they feel is appropriate and according to their intuitions. Whereas the moralist here believes we all have to follow a certain moral code. So the free man understands we all have these feelings or intuitions driving us, and we respect that. And so that is where the free man sees the unity. The unity is in the world of ideas. I have written here as well. You can see that. What do I say? I say we say. What do I have here? Yes, striving as an individual does not make us antisocial, because a free person will recognize that cooperating with others benefits to us. Because again, cooperation is an idea, and you can see that, okay, if I need help in something, it doesn't make sense that I hurt this person, but if I try and talk to them, we have a, maybe they have an idea similar to mine and we work together, because maybe what we both desire is both similar. You can see that in the example of a formation of a society. People have always sort of criticized society, but the reality is societies come about because we're all kind of realizing if we work together, this is, way back when societies first formed, it's to our own benefit, and forming societies, are helpful to the individual, because now we don't have to worry so much about having certain things, like for example water. I don't have to worry about finding my own well. Now it's communally shared type thing. Or in Canada we have healthcare that's shared, the costs are shared. So now it's like, oh, I don't have to worry about finding my own insurance and all this stuff. I'm like, it's there, I have access, and it's to everyone's benefits, and it's supposed to help us out. I mean, yes, there's flaws within these systems, but that's a different issue. But my point in pointing that example out is that the individual does seek to be social regardless, because it is to our own benefit if we are working with people and forming these kind of cooperative associations. So that's paragraph 36. So again, the main point is that the common unity is the world of ideas. So I'm going to skip on down to, actually no, that's all I'm going to talk about for today, because I'll be running out of time. So if you have any questions or comments, just send me a message, okay? Have a good day. Bye.